He beats everybody. He looks awesome. He's tough as hell. He's cool. He's got the best entrance, and the crowd makes the most noise. Sorry, dude, that's a babyface.
That's not a babyface.
That's 100% a babyface.
People are jealous of that. EC3. People in the audience don't look like or share those qualities. Why would they cheer?
Because they want to be him.
Ric Flair was on his To Be the Man. He compared the Bloodline story to Austin versus McMahon. He said this. He said, the greatest storyline of all time is Steve Austin and Vince. I mean, if I look back on everything over the years, that is the greatest storyline, and it changed the direction of the business for the whole company and for the whole fan base. The Bloodline thing has been great for them. It's great.
I think it's, to me, I think that's just WWE propaganda. Bro, what is the Bloodline? It's a story about a family, and now they're infighting. Okay, bro, we've seen this a million times before. Again, Chris, I'm going to say the bar has been so lowered that now if there's any kind of a story, it's going to be the greatest story in the history of wrestling.
Well, yeah. The Bloodline's good. Roman rules, Usos.
I love Roman. I love the guys. I just don't think the storyline is freaking War and Peace.
I like it. It's long and it's prolonged and had twists and turns. It's the best thing that has happened in wrestling as far as a story that I wasn't involved with in a very long time. It was pretty good, but I think the old timers guys, call me crazy, but because they need to be, have attention on them at all times, and they still need to sell 8x10s, and they need to sell appearances, and they need to get clicks, and they need everything because they're just so starved for attention that they'll tend to find what's popular and put it over more often than not. Oh yeah, I love that wrestling match with the 7 stars. Yeah, it was like, man, they were ahead of their time, man. Like after me and Steamboat, that's probably the best match I've ever seen. That's what they do, man.
Chris, you like it?
I do. Yeah, I like the Bloodline storyline just because.
Would you put it up there with McMahon and Austin?
Not for overall impact of the business. No.
I would put it up.
To me, it's within. It's one of the best angles within the WWE storyline wise. I don't see it as far as the Bloodline didn't change the trajectory of Austin versus McMahon. I don't think it's even comparable. I think it's apples and oranges.
I will say though, from the inside the company perspective, that the Bloodline, everybody that's been involved has gotten more over. They sell the most merch. The houses have been up since it started, and they continue to rise based on it actually working. That the trajectory, obviously, it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah.
But I would say for the sake of a new era, yeah, it's pretty good. It's not.
It's been successful. I mean, there's no denying that. It definitely has been successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's made Jay and Jimmy, more over than they have been, probably ever. It caused them to be the longest reigning tag team champions ever because of the time that was spent within the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
It makes it look important. Go ahead, East.
They've given it time.
Yeah.
They've allowed it. Like, was everyone raving about the Bloodline thing in 2 months as Roman? Probably not. They're probably, I don't like it, but they committed to it. They stuck with it, and it progressed and it's evolved naturally, and people have been a part of it for a long time. So the second Roman, if he ever loses, the reaction's probably going to be a surreal thing because they built it so well.
I think what I like about the storylines, they put a lot of different elements and different angles in it, and I like the fact that within a story, it's different. It's so many different elements that gives it more life to it. As soon as you think the shelf life is up, there's another twist to it that makes it go further. And I think, it started off with Jay and Roman. I mean, that was the beginning of the Bloodline storyline, was just Jay and Roman. And then you put Jimmy in, and then you put Solo in, and you put Sami Zayn, and you put Kevin Owens, you put Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different facets to the Bloodline storyline that I liked. There was a few that I didn't. I still to this day didn't feel the Cody edition made. I mean, it just was awkward to me. And at the end of the day, with the Bloodline storyline, it's still the family implosion, because KO and Sammy is pretty much distant from the Bloodline storyline at this point. And at the end of the day, it really didn't. The chase was their shining moment within the Bloodline storyline, because after they won the world championship, I mean, it's like random Raw appearances. Kevin Owens mad at the world for some odd reason. Now they're feuding with Gunther and losing against them. You know what I mean? So it's just didn't really do much for them in the longer run. But I mean, there's still more elements to it, now the Usos and the infighting. So I think it's definitely, I would say this is definitely one of the top 6 or 7 angles of WWE of all time. I would say that. Top 3, no, I would say Austin McMahon's up there. Kane and the Undertaker's up there. And I think that's probably, I mean, I liked Hogan and Savage. I liked Hogan and Andre. You know what I mean? Mega Powers explode with Hogan and Savage. Andre cuts the heel turn. That was an amazing angle too. So, I think that for the current crowd that's under 30, I mean, I think that really it really has a lot to do with it being one of the best this era.
Yeah, but I mean, I would just say, short of Austin McMahon, every angle mentions 3 to 6 month kind of thing, and this has been 3 years. So
it's been 3 years. Yeah,
I'm just shocked they committed to something and it's worked, because of nothing else. Because they're absolutely horrible at everything else.
Yeah,
like the rest is just garbage, hot pea garbage water.
Hogan Savage was a year. Hogan Savage was a year.
Right.
Savage won at WrestleMania 4. Yeah, he won the tournament. Hogan was there, and the side, and all of a sudden, Mega Powers happened. Mega Powers explode, leads to WrestleMania 5. So that was a year angle. I think that was pretty good.
Man, wrestling used to be so cool.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Vince, what are some of your best angles that you've been a part of as far as the creative team?
Oh, geez. Oh, God. I mean, my number one up there is Rock joining the corporation. I thought we did that very well. Bro, Brett and Sean. I mean, bro, because you had to really manage that real heat. That was not easy to do.
Yeah.
That was up there with me. Obviously, Taker Kane, obviously, DX, and all, that entire run. Austin McMahon. There was a lot. Bro, I'm sorry, man. I'm in the minority with this Bloodline. I don't know, bro, because I can compare this to the Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay, the gangsters. I mean, this doesn't touch that. Like, it doesn't. It's not even in the same ballpark as that. And like I said, man, I just think a lot of it had to do with there was nothing else. But I'm in the minority, and that's okay.
Is it fair to say, Vince? Is it fair to say, Vince, that because you're not an avid SmackDown watcher, you haven't experienced the full breadth of the angle?
Possibly.
Okay. Dude, I haven't. I barely watch it. I only see the pay-per-views, and I check out Roman and the Usos' work because I'm a big fan of theirs. I don't watch the week to week. I have no idea what's going on. I just know that something sustained for such a long time, and I hear the people react to it.
I think it would have been much better, Chris, in my opinion. See, here's where they lost me. A tight-knit family of Samoans can infight. They can kill each other. They're never going to let an outsider in. It ain't going to happen. They lost me with Sami Zayn being part of the group. I much rather would have seen them work with the Samoan family. I would have loved to see a Trinity become a part of it. I would have loved to see the elders become a part of it. I would have really loved to see it within, because I just lost it. You know, bro, I worked with a lot of, you know, Samoans and that culture, and it's very close and very tiny, going all the way back to Yokozuna.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when Sami Zayn, I'm like, bro, this guy would have never been allowed in the tribe, and that's where they kind of lost me.
I can see that. I liked Sammy being a part of it because, I mean, a lot of what we saw with Sammy was on SmackDown. As far as how he became a part of it, he was a major lackey for a long time with the Bloodline. The whole gimmick, the whole angle there was he was a lackey for so long that he became an honorary Uso because Jimmy was the one who was giving him some type of love because he was there. He was a lackey, you know, he carried their bags basically. And so Roman was just like, he downplayed Sammy. And I think the external factor made the family look bigger because there wouldn't have been no one within the family that played that lackey role. And it's interesting because that same lackey became the voice of reason to the Usos, you know what I mean? And so, like, if they needed that external factor to become the voice of reason within the infighting, because if you had someone within the family be a voice of reason of why you shouldn't, your family should feud, that wouldn't really make much sense.
I get
so
it.
I like the Sammy, the Owens edition. I mean, it really didn't make much sense at the end. You know, at the end of the day, it was just kind of like, okay, we don't really have much for Kevin Owens. It makes
in a punch bowl.
We'll just throw him in there for the sake of the Usos feud. I mean, their match at WrestleMania was probably the best match of both nights. But at the same time, he was just there. And the thing is, the weeks of Kevin Owens not wanting to be with Sami Zayn, I think that started to get too stretched. And so, yeah. So overall, I think it's really good. I think it's about time for it to close. But I do think that when it does close, it's going to make everybody look better within the Bloodline. And I think it should make Roman Reigns turn into a big babyface at the end, man. I think that's what it would be cool that if it leads to. Let's close with this. How would you book Roman Reigns becoming a babyface at the end of this Bloodline angle?
He would never lose the championship and retire on the top. That's
going to make him a babyface. I'm not sure if that's.
He already is a babyface, man.
He's not a babyface. No, he doesn't, man.
Oh, he's okay. He beats everybody. Hold on. He beats everybody. He looks awesome. He's tough as hell. He's cool. He's got the best entrance, and the crowd makes the most noise. Sorry, dude. That's a babyface.
That's not a babyface. That's
100% a babyface.
People are jealous of that. EC3. People in the audience don't look like or share those qualities. Why would they cheer that?
Because they want to be him, and they already cheer him.
He's jealous. No.
Vince, come on.
Well,
EC3, hold on a second. Let me say something.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, EC3.
I'm reclaiming my time.
They don't. People don't like Roman Reigns. Like on the average person, they don't like Roman Reigns. They boo him. A lot of people like him because they like heels, because they want to be the contrarian.
Right.
There's contrarians in this world who get a high off of just disagreeing with everybody all the time. And those are the fans who cheer Roman Reigns. Other than that, people don't like Roman Reigns, and he's doing his job. So kudos to him.
I mean, people didn't like Stone Cold Steve Austin until one match flipped him, and he didn't change a thing about himself, and he was the most over babyface too.
So how can it happen to Roman then, in your opinion?
Good. Okay. Well, you need to over babyface. Let me see. Everybody. I don't know. Have Goldberg come back and challenge him, and he beats him in 2 minutes, and then it's crazy.
Been there, done that. He's already beat Goldberg.
Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again. It didn't work the first time. Vince, you got any ideas there?
Oh, I got real simple, bro.
Okay.
Now, how do I make Roman Reigns a babyface? Me, Vince Russo?
Yep.
Beautiful. Beat Heyman to a bloody pulp, and we never see him on TV again. We never ever see him. Roman Reigns will be over with me till the day I die, bro. Okay, there we go.
That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. That will make him a babyface.
It's just too bad there's nobody like capable to take the Paul Heyman guy's spot. Like that's like big, you know, because like Brock's obviously the freak, and Brock makes sense.
Yeah.
But then Roman's the next guy, and then there's nobody on that echelon that is even close to filling that role that Paul Heyman could take as his own, and then therefore get murdered by Roman.
See, the thing is with Paul Heyman guys is that you have to be more over than Paul Heyman is. Like the Paul Heyman guys, they tried, like the Curtis Axels, the Rybacks, the Cesaro. Yeah, when they were all Paul Heyman guys, they floundered, man, because none of those three, Curtis Axel, Ryback, or Cesaro, none of them were more over than Paul Heyman is. So what he did was he basically took their heat away, and it went on him, and it just left them looking like second-rate lackeys, you know, to Paul Heyman. You have to be more over. It worked with Punk, we know, when he was managing Punk, because Punk is more over than Paul Heyman is, you know. It worked with Show-ish when he was with Show, because Show is more over than Paul Heyman in some aspects. But no, you can't just bring some type of guy up hoping that just being with Paul Heyman is going to work. So
well, you got to ask yourself this now, Chris. Did he do that by design because maybe he didn't want to be with those people?
100%.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah, he has he talks about it on this podcast with Rick Rubin, who's like a creative inspiration of mine. So him and Heyman are on the show, and he talks about, like, it's very specific in his contract. There was, I believe he said, 3 people that I'd be a manager for, or you can't bring me back to TV. One being Brock, the second was Ronda, and the third was Roman. So when they brought him back, so like I think he's very tied in. Like, he was very adamant he will not sacrifice the brand he's created again to bring somebody up. They have to be kind of on the level.
Yeah, I can respect that. Again, I always say, protect your brand, man. You got to protect your brand. And it definitely didn't make Paul Heyman look like that guy by, you know, no disrespect to someone like a Curtis Axel, you know.
Look, you can. If I was in Curtis Axel's spot, they put me with Paul Heyman, I'd be a 23-time champion by now. So people aren't that good sometimes. But you know what? We always talk about all these talents drop the ball, or they drop the ball. No, dude, talents drop the ball a lot too.
I think they probably were intimidated, you know, with that spot too, man. You know, that's a big spot to fill.
Then give it to somebody who can handle it.
That's what they did, and people handle it like a Punk. You know what I mean, like a Roman. Yeah. So.
Yep. Brock, Punk, Roman. Yep. Yeah. They can handle it because they're exceptional.
Because they're more over than Paul Heyman is. They don't need Paul Heyman, you know, to be more over. They're just that's just another layer to their character. So it's like the dark chocolate drizzle on my chocolate covered pretzels. Like, they were really, really good. The chocolate pretzels were over to me, but it was a dark chocolate, just a little bit. There you go.